Hey babes, I'm Alexis.
And I'm Lynette.
And this is Getting the D, episode 13.
13.
Lucky number 13. Cheers to that. Oh, that was a good clink. Did you guys hear that?
Clink, clink.
Mm-hmm. How was your week?
How was your week?
I always ask first. It's my thing, so you go first.
I know. I feel like when I think about how was your week, it's in your voice.
How was your week?
My week was good. It's been like a lot more chill. I'm really like, the dust is settling. Which
in a good way.
Yeah, but at the beginning, like when everything was happening and I was like, when the dust settles, when the dust settles, when the dust settles. And like for a while I was like, when is it going to settle? Like are things going to like chill out? Are things going to even out at some point? They have.
I love that.
It's so beautiful because I have like capacity for other things. Like thinking about ideas for the podcast or thinking about like my beauty work or whatever. Like I just have like more mental space.
Yeah.
And it's been so nice.
Yeah.
So, that said though, it's not like last week was like I did a million new things, but I feel like I do have like a little bit more like time for chilling and whatever. But, I met my new man's parents.
Wow.
And a little family, and
It's a big deal.
it was like the best meeting the family experience I've ever had, actually.
Aww.
Like they're so warm and it's such a loving family, and not that my family doesn't love each other, but it's just not like, we're not like warm like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Like I can see why you would want a family.
Yeah.
Like
And why he is the way he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And to see him like the way he treats his mom and to see him interact with his family was so nice. You're like, oh my gosh, I like you even more.
Yeah,
It was
a big deal.
So cool.
How they treat their mothers especially.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Ladies, pay very much attention to that. That's a huge thing I've learned. Yeah.
It was really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was such a good experience and I feel so welcome and that feels really good. And I don't know. It was awesome.
I love that.
And then what else? Oh my gosh. Yesterday I had like the first Saturday in a very long time where I just did like literally nothing. Like
That's amazing.
I didn't leave the house except to walk the dogs and like get takeout. Made cocktails, had Thai food, watched TV. Chilled.
Yum.
It was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I actually just said that to my man because I was like, we've been doing so much. And it's so nice to just sit and do nothing.
It's just not.
Like, I just want to spend time with you.
Exactly. Like he's been so busy.
Yeah.
And then like, I don't know, I'm always busy. Like whether it's real, like it's work or like it's shit that I make up. Like I had to go to Trader Joe's. I had to go to Home Goods. Like whatever, all my little errands that I make up that I have to do. Like we've just been so busy that I was like, I just don't want to do anything. And it's so nice.
Yeah.
How was your week? What'd you do?
I worked a lot. I feel like coming off the holiday, I was back to work all week.
Yeah.
Had a wedding, but also at the salon all week, which same thing every week.
I know. So working.
Work. And then we were back out all weekend, meeting up with friends, trying new restaurants, tried picnic, which I was telling you about earlier.
Well, we talked about picnic last week and I was like all anxious that I wasn't going to be able to get in.
Yeah, she was like, think I'll get in, right?
You think I'm going to get in? And now I didn't even try.
Yeah. No, it was a beautiful space. And I would say try it, but it's definitely an interesting concept. It's like rotisserie chicken and oysters. So
I love rotisserie chicken so much.
I mean, it's so good.
Okay. Is that a universal? Everyone loves rotisserie chicken.
I want to say who doesn't, but then there's vegans, so vegetarian.
Oh,
that's
well,
tough.
yeah.
But
yeah.
no, it was really good.
I get excited when I pick up a rotisserie chicken and get home to throw it on a salad. I'm like, fuck yeah.
I do that a lot for like the lunches.
Yes.
Yeah, for salads for sure. It's so easy.
So easy and it's so good.
Yeah. It's so good. And then I went to dinner with my brothers and their ladies and my man. So it was a little like 6-person date. And it was so fun. It was super fun.
I love that.
Drinks afterwards. And then, Sunday.
So same stuff.
Hanging out.
Yeah.
Sundaying. Cool. It was, very, very chill. But I agree. I want to just lay in sweat sometimes. Even though we're so grateful. It's so fun to be out and about with people and friends and go to different restaurants. And I'm loving that. I was just like laying there last night. Like, I love this.
I'm loving chilling.
When we got home, I was like, even this morning, I was like, this is so nice.
We slept until 10 yesterday and today.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
Yeah. But then when we don't have things to do, we're going to be like, where is everyone? In like a couple months or something. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I know.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy to be like coming down and like able to chill.
Yeah. It
feels
great.
good. Yeah.
So great.
You should do some chilling. Busy.
I know.
Okay. So before we get into the topic, I was just like thinking about some little like questions that I wanted to ask you, just that I'm like curious about that are like kind of controversial.
Okay.
About cheating specifically.
Yeah.
Like what is cheating and what is not cheating?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just want to like bullshit about it a little bit.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, you know what it is? I think recently I saw this thing on Instagram that was like, my husband is recovering from watching porn. And I was like, are you guys okay? Like, who gives a fuck? But then I realized that some people think that watching porn is cheating. Do you think watching porn is cheating?
Okay, so there's a few answers to this. I feel that if you're watching porn and not being intimate with your partner, like it's a replacement for that. I think it's just wrong. I don't know if I'm calling it cheating.
Cheating's such a heavy, like...
Yeah, I think it's just more like, what?
Yeah.
Because technically, like, instead of having sex with your partner, you're having sex with yourself, watching other people have sex or whatever it may be, whatever you're into. So I don't know if I want to call that cheating. I just want to call it like fucked up. I don't know. It just like, why don't you just talk to your partner about that and be like, hey, let's watch this together if you want to spice it up.
Right.
So I don't know. What do you think?
Oh no. Oh my God. I don't care at all.
Yeah, I don't.
I like kind of like it. Like, I'm like, oh, I like that you watch porn.
Yeah,
Like,
I think there's expectations of porn that could be a little problematic.
Well, if we're having good sex.
Yeah,
so.
but I think like if they're using things in the bedroom and you're like, where'd you learn that? But like, it could be from what you're watching. That's
actually
great.
such a good point.
That's great. I love that.
Yeah,
And same vice versa. It's not like we're not, you know?
Yeah.
Like when I'm home by myself alone, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I'm just like, like, are you allowed to have like sexual fantasies and like think about this stuff without me? But alone. Watching porn.
Sure, but also tell me.
Yeah.
Let me know what you're liking.
Hiding it, it's weird.
Yeah, which is a great, we have a little something about that next week. We're going to be sharing.
Oh my God. You guys next week?
Yes.
Woo.
We're recording with someone who has to deal with this.
Do we have a guest
on
for
a different extreme level?
I can't wait to talk to her. But anyway.
Okay. What are the other ones?
Okay. Is accepting a drink at a bar cheating? Or like unacceptable? Like, should you send it back?
No.
If you're in a relationship?
I mean, no, I don't think it's cheating.
So if a girl sent your man a drink at the bar, you're cool with him taking it?
I would just be like, thanks. Like, I would smile and be like, thank you.
No, I agree.
Like, I would be like, oh, that's sweet. She thinks you're hot. Like, cool.
No, you're not there.
Oh, I'm not there.
Yeah, you're not there.
If he accepted it and acted upon it and like went and talked to her and had like the whole, flirtation and like got numbers and stuff, of course, like that's not okay.
Numbers? Oh
I don't know. I don't
know. Yeah.
But how would I find out about that? Maybe later when he would cheat, maybe. But
right. Okay. But it's okay if he accepts it, but then doesn't do anything about it.
Yeah. Because I feel like if I'm out and a guy sends me a drink and I accept it, I'm not going to necessarily go talk to that person.
No.
And sometimes it's without your like knowledge until it's sent to you, where they're like, hey, this round's on this guy.
No.
And you're like, oh, well, okay. And you just like leave it
the
there.
Guy's just like, what's up?
He's like,
and
yeah,
then
just,
that's it.
yeah. I think one time I had like an old man. I was like, oh, cool. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? And it probably made his night. I don't know. Just be like, hey.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Unless there's further action. I don't think accepting a drink is cheating. I don't know what you think about that.
No, I agree. I think it's fine. I'm like, oh, perfect. Let's like you save some money.
Right. Yeah. No, totally. I don't, whatever.
Okay. What about like flirting in a bar? Like, let's say they sent a drink and
Ding,
oh
ding.
my goodness. Let's say a girl like sent him a drink and then came over and wanted to like chit chat and he was drunk and they just like chit chatted, flirted.
I mean, that's skating a line I don't like.
I agree.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Something recently, we were at a bar and our guys were in another part of the bar because we had just come back from the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
And a guy was talking to us and being like very touchy. Do you remember this?
Was I present?
Yeah. You were like obsessed with the one girl with the bob. And Almira. And this guy was like,
oh, yes. I'm so sorry.
like trying to
I
like
thought
talk,
this was
but he was like
Stratus.
being touchy, and I was kind of like, because
Yes.
our guys were kind of like, you can feel them, and then
I do
next thing you know,
remember.
they're like, what's up?
Yeah,
What's going on?
that. Yeah.
But then again, they were there, so I guess we're talking about if we
Yeah.
weren't in the room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that.
I mean, no, I don't like that at all.
Okay.
Like, why do you have to flirt to even get a drink? If you just got some drinks, be like, all right, thanks.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, just checking in.
Yeah. Another thing wanted to do debrief. I think we talked about this individually, but while it's hot, is Olivia Culpo's wedding dress.
Okay. I don't know who she is. I know her face. I don't know who she is. I don't know what she did.
She was like Miss USA at one point.
Oh, I very much don't know who she is. Okay.
Years ago. And then she got more famous for dating Nick Jonas. And then she got into really modeling.
That's how I know
She dated a few athletes.
Okay.
And then now she's with Christian McCaffrey, which he's a very big football player. And
okay.
now she's just like a model influencer.
Okay.
Yeah.
This makes the comments about why she didn't have a sexy wedding dress like even more like what?
Yeah.
Because she's famous for dating people and being a model?
Yeah, there's no like, I don't think she's like a singer or an actress or anything like that.
I'm working late.
Because I'm a singer.
We have to sing once an episode at least.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not saying that she's talentless.
Let's say A. What did we think of the dress? A. That's A. That's first.
It's nice. I would never make that choice.
Right. It's severely classic. I love classic, but I feel like it was just like,
would you wear it?
No. I just don't do well. I feel like in a long sleeve in June.
So high neck too.
And high neck.
So high.
I would be
looked
spitzing.
Beautiful. Oh yeah. And it
She
looked like a heavy
she's-
fabric.
Oh yeah, like thick.
Thick.
Yeah.
And
then she looked gorgeous. She looked beautiful, and everything was very classic and beautiful.
Yeah.
But it was the comments. It was like,
tell me
it was
more.
the interview with Vogue that she did that I was very perplexed by.
So I sent you pictures and I was like, okay, what is going on here? And then you were like, yeah, like whatever she said to Vogue, or is that who it was?
Yeah, I think it was
tell me
Vogue.
more.
She was like, I just didn't really want to exude sex for my wedding day. I wanted a traditional wedding, and this is how like my man likes me. Or something like that. Like along those lines. That's not a direct quote, but it's along those lines. And I was just like, sweetie, your career is sex, kind of. Like you're hot. Like she's smoking beautiful hot. Like I think she's gorgeous.
Right.
And she's always in like a little outfit.
Are
like,
we rebranding or what?
It's just interesting to me that she was just like, I don't think this day is for that. And I'm like, no one's asking you to walk down the aisle naked.
I like that.
But you like what?
I like a really sexy bride.
No, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
But I think in her case, like she was like stating like this day shouldn't be for that as a blanket statement. And I felt as though that was brave of her to say. And she got pretty dragged for it.
You just don't want that.
Right. And it's also interesting that she doesn't, because she always dresses she dresses very pretty and like classy and pretty and chic and all that. But I feel like her comments with it was odd.
Okay. Yeah, it was definitely giving Catholicism. Which can be like beautiful and classic, but that's not her jam. And then she wants to like talk poorly about people who don't do that.
Yeah. And then she did an after party dress that was super odd as well.
Oh, I don't think I saw the after party.
It was like she was naked.
Oh,
and it was like not naked, but like she had like this cage. It was a high fashion. I don't know if it was Dolce. I know her. I
need to look at this.
I know her wedding dress was Dolce. After party
was
dress.
it? I do love Dolce. That actually is very surprising because that is not a Dolce vibe.
Well, I think too, they give their aesthetic, and then Dolce's like, okay, well, let's make it for you what you want.
Okay.
But yeah, in my mind, Dolce's very sexy.
Yeah, and like more like
curve.
eclectic fun.
Yeah, like let's show your body.
Let's see this after party dress. Oh.
Yeah, different. Like the neck thing.
Okay.
The cage skirt. I mean, listen, it was fun and funky.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's her from her wedding, is it?
No, it's not.
It's just her in general.
Okay. Choices were made.
choices were made. I just was asked to debrief that, and I think we meant to debrief it on last week's episode, and we didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there it is.
Congrats.
Congrats to the newlyweds.
Yeah. What an interesting combo of dresses. Okay. Sure.
Interesting stuff.
All right. So this week we are chatting about firsts, but I think that something that's important that we kind of talk about, just like with the podcast in general, is that I feel like we've said nearly all we need to say about our exes, and I don't want to have this be a thing where we like keep that shit alive. So I think that we're, going to transition into more of like what this new life is like, and you've been living it for a little bit longer than I have, and I just don't think that we need to keep like debriefing the divorce itself, but I think it would be really beautiful to like kind of show like what the after is like and what growth is like and all of that. So yeah, I think this will be like the perfect transition kind of into that. And we're going to talk about all of our firsts post-divorce.
Yeah, I think it's good to like grow with this podcast as we're growing. I mean, we can't harp on the past for that long. No. I mean, of course, we need to remember it is about helping women as well, and that's what we're all about. That's why we started this. And we want you to feel seen and heard and just supported.
Totally.
But we still want to also be real.
Yeah.
And
we'll
be ourselves
individually with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Like if anybody needs it, we'd be so happy. But I think like we're up to 13 weeks now, and like I think it's time for us to kind of like
it's going to take a little of a new shape.
We're going to chat about like experiences alone, because when did you start dating your ex? How old were you?
18.
Okay. Same.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of things I just literally never did alone. Like I had lived alone, but I never, and this sounds crazy, but like I never grocery shopped for one person, and I never like obviously dated, but like taking care of the dog, like going to work, coming home to an empty apartment, like all of that kind of stuff is just so brand new.
Yeah.
And I think like first, even like in relationships, like sleeping with a new person after being with the same person for so long, or like dating or starting a new relationship, like every experience you're like, whoa, like everything's new.
It is. It's very interesting of a transition to grasp for sure.
Yeah. And at first, I don't know, like at first, just navigating it has been so interesting. Like the little things, like, when do I like to clean my apartment, and just doing it completely for yourself.
Yeah.
Or like, what foods do I like to eat? What do I want for dinner? What do I buy at the grocery store? Like all of those kind of firsts.
I think that's what like holds a lot of people back too from leaving partnerships, because you're like, oh, I had to do this by myself. Now I was so used to my person with me at all times or doing that. And when it comes to first, I had to really look back, because it's been a bit for me now. And I was saying to Lynette that like I was alone for a lot longer than when I actually became alone fully. Like I felt like I lived alone, at least at the end. So it felt not as crazy when I did do it by myself, like the firsts. But I will say I struggled. Yeah. Some nights, like I just would cry in my apartment and stuff, and like be like, oh, I did that.
It was great. It was cool.
Oh, 90% of the time I love it.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing I never lived alone in my life. So that was a first for me ever. And I think a lot of women don't get that opportunity to live alone. So that is incredible. Yeah. And it's something I still enjoy.
So like finding your apartment, what was that like?
I just remember panic looking on Zillow. I was just like scrolling Zillow and this one popped up, and it was very obscure. And I was like, these photos are fine, but it could be better. And I love the area it was in Philly. So, I just ran like one morning, it was like 10:30 in the morning, and went there, and I was like, oh, this feels good. Like the energy and it was good. The windows were and it was honestly the only one I looked at.
Oh, really?
I didn't look at a few. Okay. Yeah. And he was like, well, it's available this, and the date just worked out, and I signed it, like and it wasn't far from, my family and friends, but it was just far enough outside of where I was before. So it was like I keep calling it like my little healing apartment, but I will say I'm coming up on like a itch to get out of it now.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's completed.
Yeah.
For me.
Like
you know what I mean?
it served its purpose for you and you're like ready to blossom to maybe somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking about like doing that, but we'll see.
Living on your own for the first time and even like choosing an apartment that you're like, oh, I like this. Like these are the things that I like and these are the things that I need alone, like not having to worry about anybody else. And I stayed in the same neighborhood as like where we live together and I love it here. I feel like this is like
this
my
apartment's
neighborhood.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I know.
A really good one.
I think I'll probably stay here for a while, but I looked at so many places because I was like, ooh, like what type of girly do I want to be? Like, do I want to be an old city girl? Like I looked at places right down the street from the salon. Oh my God, an old city. Like, oh, I didn't see any mice, but I know they were there. Like they're like, oh, this apartment is $2,000 and the cabinets are falling off the wall. I'm like, oh my God. So I stayed in Fishtown and I love it. But yeah, like living alone for the first time ever has been so nice. Like, you know, just like waking up when I want to and making whatever I want for dinner and kind of all of that kind of stuff. Like those first experiences have been so cool.
Yeah. Not worrying about anybody else invading your space. Like your mess is your mess. And
yeah.
You can walk around naked. I mean, not that you couldn't with your partner, but I'm just saying, like, you can just do whatever. Like, and it's the best in the world. And no one's like, oh, you're just laying there all day. Like, yeah, I am. But nobody can say anything about it. You're just chilling.
I am the naked neighbor. I have realized. Me too. Are you?
Oh, yeah. I don't care.
Like, I mean, obviously, you guys only ever see, like, this part of the apartment. But over here is the back of a bunch of houses and windows. And I like come out here to my dryer constantly, just like naked. Cause
it's just Lynette's cheeks.
Yeah.
And her washer dryer.
I have to get it together, but I just can't. Like, I just don't care enough.
No, it's just so free. It's so nice. And I highly recommend, especially if you're in your like early to mid 20s listening to this, please live alone.
Yeah.
And sure, you can go away to college. That definitely does help you grow as an individual. But I mean, like, have a hot girl apartment out of college by yourself. Do your thing. I know people want to like go right into roommates and maybe that is for an affordability thing. I understand that, but it is life-changing to live alone. And I was just talking, I think it was Vinny. I feel like I reference Vinny all the time.
We talk about Vinny we love you, our Vinny. Divorce guru.
But he was just like, I feel like you just came like alive recently with like getting in your routine of living alone and doing everything alone. And you're finally there. And then I met someone, but I feel like that's how it works sometimes.
Of course.
You reach a point where you're like, oh, I'm so good in this. I'm so happy in this. And then your light's on and then that happens.
I love when you say that your light is on.
It is. So I don't know. You don't realize it. You're walking around. You're just like, yeah. Like, I'm
you're
so
like
happy. And like, you don't realize it's so bright. But other people are looking at you like, wow. Like she seems
I want some.
Yeah, that looks good over there. Like she seems like she has a happy vibration or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend it. But yeah, definitely, I will say, I know it sounds rose and daisies. There were nights I was like crying my eyes out in the bed, like, oh shit, I'm here and I'm really doing this. And I'm really in my own apartment that I signed at least a year for. And like,
well, I signed 18 months, I think. So I'm like really here.
You're in it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm about to sign a year too. So like, that's crazy. But yeah, I do feel this like completion with this space, although it's still really beautiful and it has a really good energy. And I feel like whoever's going to take it, I'm going to tell them the same thing. Like, I think it's such a nice space to be just a solo female in, honestly.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then what about like first, like dating wise? Like, do you remember your first dates? Like your first time like interacting with another man?
Yeah. Yeah. I dipped my toe
literally
with like
dates, like not even like sex, not even whatever, just like dates and like flirting with guys out and like that kind of stuff. Like, what was your experience with that?
Yeah, I remember the first maybe like, and this wasn't dating apps. This was just maybe a friend of a friend that was like, oh yeah, they're single. Like you guys are probably hit it off. Or I met them through another friend. And it was so nice. The guys I first went on dates with, because I was like, I am so new at this. And it's not that I know I can talk to people because I am a hairstylist. Same with you, makeup artist, nurse. I know I could cue and hold a conversation, but sometimes I had to catch myself and be like, is this hairdresser Alexis or is this Alexis? And I would also catch myself being like, I just got out of a marriage and I don't know what I'm ready for, but like I'm trying to just
like
start
the waters
and see what happens. And I remember the like first maybe 1 or 2 guys, they were so gracious and just the sweetest about it. Like it wasn't like, well, what are you doing wasting my time if you don't know about like what you want?
Yeah.
It was more like, whatever, that's great, good for you.
Yeah.
Like it was really cool to do that. And that was again before I even signed up for a dating app. So that was cool. I mean, I guess for dating and no sex.
That was like
sweet.
a practice.
It was a little practice.
Little dry run.
I'm thankful for those guys that were just like,
yeah,
cool, all right, this is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like got to dinner, and we had a good little fun time. And now we're still, if I see them, I'm like, what's up, Howard?
Yeah.
It's cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
Luckily, because it could have been way worse.
Well, I guess, but yeah, it's just, oh my God, it's such a foreign thing at first.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I remember the first date that I went on. I was terrified.
It's terrifying.
He hugged me and he was like, your heart is racing. And this is someone that I kind of knew already. And he was like,
it easier, though.
He was like, it didn't though.
Yes. No, it doesn't.
Well,
I mean, it's like just for the fact you're out in public with another male that isn't your husband. Yeah. Where you're like, who am I going to see? Am I going to see like his friend somewhere in this bar and they're going to see me out and they're going to tell him like
terrified,
even though it's months later or whatever, how much later, that doesn't matter. It's just a matter of like, oh, is somebody going to tell me? Somebody going to talk shit that they saw me with someone?
And he wanted to like hold my hand and stuff. And I was like, oh, this is so
like,
scary.
no, yeah, can we just like talk?
Yeah. But now I'm like, oh, who gives a fuck? But yeah, at the time I was like, oh my God, like this is not my husband. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was like, you are so nervous. And I was like, yeah, I haven't done this in 13 years. And I was 18 then, like even, I've never dated as an adult. So it was like so scary.
Same. Even back, like we didn't really date then either.
No, I wasn't dating. I was 18. I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
I know, me either. I just like went on a date and then latched and we were in it. It was done.
Literally.
And so when people were like, oh, well, you've dated before, like, no,
really.
Never. And to go out into this world of dating was something. Right. But also a great learning experience. And
I think it's cool to like enter the dating world kind of like not jaded though by dating, like because we've never done it. So but it's like almost like, oh, you could be a little bit naive.
Oh, absolutely.
But at the same time, I went into it just like as such a genuine person, like no walls, like whatever. I was just like, hi.
Same. I was like, I'm just happy to meet people, like a little golden retriever.
Happy to be here.
But yeah, I have even friends who are like, oh, you're so fucking annoying. Like I've been on these apps forever. And of course you're like already seeing someone like, how did they work so easily? And I'm like, I wasn't really out here. Like I need a relationship. I just wanted to meet people and like see what happens from it. And if it's anyone that feels it, like I felt a connection with and I was open to it and I wasn't having high expectations. I wasn't like, what the fuck's wrong with me? I was just like, if it doesn't work, I don't really care. Because I was so secure in myself by the time I really intentionally dated that it didn't matter if it didn't work out or not.
And like you've had a marriage. So I think that a lot of people who are on these apps or who are like dating right now are like, I'm looking for my forever. And we're kind of like,
that's such a good point.
No, I just want to like a partner to like spend time with and stuff. Like we're not looking for forever because we've had it and we're just like, grass isn't greener necessarily. So I think that does take a lot of pressure off of it.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I mentioned it, I think, in an episode before, that going into dating this time, or first time, honestly, right? I was coming from it like, oh, well, if it works out, great, but I'm more realistic.
I'm cool. Yeah.
Now, because we did already experience marriage and with a couple for like a long time. So if it doesn't work out, it'll be okay. And also realizing statistically, like a lot of things don't tend to work out long term. Do we want to hope it will? Absolutely. Like if we, with our new relationships, absolutely. Like I'm in it. Like I'm here and I would love to see this go all the way.
Sure.
But being more realistic about that mindset where we're not like coming off so, I don't want to say the word desperate, but like we're not coming off so like, I need a husband right this second.
Well, yeah, the expectation is not that I'm going to marry you. The expectation is that I'm just going to like you and we're going to have a good time.
I want to enjoy you and I want to get to know you and I want to see if we're compatible. Like that's what I'm worried about at this point. Like, are we compatible in this life? Like,
I'm not going into a first date. Like, do you have a 401k? Do you want children? Like all that. Like, yeah, it's just different.
Yeah, we're not quizzing. I mean, now, but like I'm not like right out the gate now.
Yeah. Okay. Big one. How the fuck was it to have sex with a new person for the first time?
For me,
I mean, you don't have to get too deep if you don't want to.
Yeah,
but.
no, I was not, intimate with my ex for a while. Like that was a big thing for me that wasn't happening. And then when it did happen for the first time, I felt like this newfound version of myself, for sure. Like we were, a whole different person I ever thought I could be in that realm, because I wasn't exploring in ways that I could have been, I guess, in the past.
Sure.
So I definitely was a whirlwind of like, oh, she's there. She's still there. She's in there. And she's just been hiding, tucked away for quite a long time. And we're happy she's arrived. So I'm grateful for it. I mean, looking back, it lasted longer than I would like to, but I learned a whole lot from it, and I will never
Suppress
look
her.
back. I'll never look back and be like, oh, I hated that was my first out the like marriage.
Because your first partner,
like your first sexual partner. Like I know for me, it was just like, I need to have sex.
Okay.
And that happened. And then, it was continuing, and I learned a lot.
You stayed with that person for a little while.
Yeah, as we do.
You did the things.
As we do, because we don't know how to unravel just
No,
being
yeah.
with someone.
It's hard to do. It's hard for sex to not be a relationship, because
Not be
that's
emotional.
what you're used to.
Yeah.
Well,
like
that's what
I thought I
you're
could be
used
like,
to.
woo. Like, let me just do this and go.
I know.
We said that before. I was trying to.
Oh, you want to be Samantha about it, and it's just so hard.
There are parts of me that are her, but I just really was like, oh, here I am getting emotionally attached and wondering why.
It's hard not to.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, that was my experience with it, I guess. What was yours like?
I think mine was, it felt so I hadn't slept with another person since I was 18 or 19,
Same,
18
right.
or 19. So to
A whole
me,
different person.
Giving my body to another person felt so sacred, and I was so protective of it. Like I was crazy about it. I was like, who could I possibly give this to?
Yeah.
And not to be like, oh my God, I am the best thing ever. Whoever gets to have sex with me is so lucky. But it's just more about I am 32 years old. I have not had sex with anybody else. I've had one partner for 13 years. Who the fuck is worthy of having this? I felt like I was giving virginity again, nearly.
Let's just say I wish I thought like that.
Yeah. Well,
Not wish, but I was just like, I never was that mature enough about it, right out past, post-divorce. I was very...
Well, you were just ready to go.
I was just like a little bunny rabbit, let's go.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking that deeply how you are. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's incredible.
My breakup was very different though.
Yeah.
I, again, would have stayed. So it's not like I was wanting for something else.
Yeah, but even just you talking about your body, being so sacred, it is. And I think sometimes we don't think about it like that.
No one else has seen me naked. No one else.
Right. It is. It's super vulnerable.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
And who am I going to allow to do that? Because I don't know, I respect myself so much. I don't want to be disrespected in any way and have a one night stand or whatever. But then at the same time, I was like, oh fuck, should I just get it over with?
Yeah.
Am I putting too much pressure on it? And oh my God, it became a whole thing for me.
I remember looking back to and doing all the maintenance, everything. Because when you're in a long-term relationship,
you really have to keep your legs shaved.
Yeah, if you're in a long-term marriage and relationship, sure, you let some things go sometimes. You got a little stubble in the legs. You got a little hair. You got a little hair here
or
there.
God, occasionally I was serving jungle, and he was like, okay.
He was like, I'll do it, whatever, it's fine.
Care.
And yeah, people who are in love really don't. But when you're back out there in the streets and you're trying to just have a nice lay, I don't. You have to get it all. You got to get her together. You
can't
everything
present
has
like
to be.
that.
You have to be tan. You have to
bald,
self-tan, bald, like a little
fucking Barbie.
Looking Barbie. They get mole rat, everything. You have to be squeaky.
Hair down.
Squeaky.
Hairless, tan.
And it's a lot. It's a lot of pressure. But I remember just being
so
like,
good.
oh, well, we're signing up for Seth Laser. So here we go.
Wait, I went to Seth Laser.
I think all the single girls go to Seth Laser. Shout out Seth Laser.
My
Laser,
Brazilian.
it's the best thing I've ever done.
My Brazilian laser is the best thing I've ever done
It's
for
the
myself.
best investment. Girls, I mean,
Steph,
marriage or
it's
not,
even
relationship
expensive.
or not, get in there. Yeah, it's so good.
It's
It's like a la carte good.
Oh,
Yeah, you don't. It's not $1 million. Not like a package. It's like $1,500 you have to buy. It's
not even
individual. You would think they're sponsoring this episode the way we're talking about it.
No,
but
honestly,
I brought it up.
They have a Groupon.
Oh, they do. Do they still? I know they did when they first opened.
Yes, it's like $400 for 2 areas, Brazilian and
like
armpits
6
for like
sessions.
$500. And
That's great.
I'm gonna tell you like this: my vaginas never look so good.
Oh, beautiful. You know what those like when you do the razor and you have all the razor burn and stuff on the.
Yes.
No, you don't have a single thing.
Your butt
She's
crack,
gleaming.
you know, like day 2 after you would shave your butt crack and it was so fucking itchy. Let's be real, like it was, and you're just like.
You're like,
like squeezing your butt cheek together because it's like stabbing. Oh.
But anyway, to get back to the task at hand that we're talking about, I got us a little off guard, but you girlies know what I mean. Like the everything shower is no joke too. Like you need to do it all.
The full shower.
It's a lot of work
and
to be single,
like multiple times
but
a week.
It's worth it. When you're done, you're like, wow, she was here the whole time. Remember her?
Right. Right.
But also we support hair if you want to keep your hair. Let's just say that.
No, slay, but for me,
slay for you.
Yeah.
But for me, I want to just be a naked mole rat Barbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The vagina doesn't exist.
Actually, this morning I used the phrase designer pussy.
Ooh, we love that.
Designer pussy
Bright and bold.
goes to Seth Laser.
Gorgeous. But yeah, I remember that like being the first, like realizing, oh, Alexis, there's higher possibilities of you going out and hooking up. So you might need to be ready at all times. You know what I mean? Like you need to be ready at all times, no matter what. It could be a random Tuesday night and you're out the bar. Like it could be at any time. So there's a lot
You have
more.
to stay ready, unfortunately.
You do, but it's good. It keeps you nice and maintained. Anyway.
Yeah, the maintenance is really serious.
Yeah, the sexual experience is definitely.
Yeah, the first time.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Well,
we were talking about. I kind of before I cut you off that you were like, who the fuck is so lucky? Because it's true. Who is? And I look back and I'm like, okay, it could have been different, but it is what it is now. But it's like, yeah, that.
So
makes a lot of sense.
I had a chosen man. I had chosen. I was like, you are the chosen one.
There was a chosen one.
We went on a few dates. I liked him a lot. I knew him from before.
Safe, yeah.
And there was like, yes, he felt safe.
Yeah.
And I liked him a lot. And even the way that I met him, like we went to the same Muay Thai gym. And
of course, you went to the Muay Thai gym.
Wow. And when he was there was always kind of like a thing where I was like, yeah, like we vibe.
Yeah.
Like we were buddies, but I was like, I think
There was chemistry, yeah.
And yeah, so whatever. Broke up with my ex, went on a couple dates with him, and I was like, he's going to be the chosen one. And then that's not how that went down. You make plans,
you think,
and it doesn't happen that way.
You thought.
So yeah, the first time was actually after all this talk about like, oh, my body's so sacred. This is going to be such a special experience. Like in my head, I'm like, candles lit, nice dinner, beautiful lingerie, blah, blah, blah. Guess what I did? I got drunk and slept with someone, and it was fucking amazing.
She got dicked down, folks. Exactly what you need post-divorce. You need to get dicked down. Do you understand me? That's what need to happen. Mom, don't listen to this one, okay?
No.
We're going to admit that. But that's what you need to do, okay?
Yeah, we got dicked down immediately.
Yeah, sometimes you need that.
And
whatever.
What a fucking blessing, actually. Really worked out.
Yeah, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but
it wasn't the candlelit and roses and whatever that I was expecting.
It came later.
Like, that I was planning. Yeah, exactly.
And so did she.
Exactly. Well, and it's so interesting because even now, like while we're on the topic of sex, in my marriage, it was kind of always a thing that like, I thought that I just had low libido because I talked about this last time. I've been on antidepressants since I was 16. So like almost 15 years at this point. And like they are scientifically known, like statistically known to lower your libido. So there had been times where I would try and get off of them and realize like, oh my God, no, this actually isn't helping. And it would make my mental health worse. But I was like, well, I'm going to try and do this for you, for our relationship, because I don't want to have sex and it's the meds and whatever. And then it wouldn't be. So I'd get back on them and whatever. I'm on antidepressants now. And let me tell you something. The problem was not me. Ever.
It usually isn't.
So
but we tell ourselves that, ladies. So if you're listening to this and you feel that way,
it's not your fault.
It's not you.
No.
There were so many times I was like, oh, it's me. It's my birth control.
It's me.
There's no way that I cannot be this sexual or this not wanting to have sex. She was in there.
Yeah, we're fine.
She was really buried down.
We're fine.
Deep down in there.
Yeah.
We're fine, ladies. Just there's deeper issues you're not dealing with your partner. So,
but finding yourself sexually is really fun and really cool.
Sexual awakening is fun.
Firsts. Yeah.
It's great. That's a huge first. I mean, again, like we mentioned, 13 years for you, 11 years for me with the same person. And then to come into it, like, I think I was more like, I love that you were like, that's my body. It's sacred. Who's so lucky?
Yeah. But then look what I did.
I know, but that's so fun that you like had that kind of experience. Where I just went into it like a 21-year-old. Like I was like, let's just
ready to go.
let's just go. And you know, got myself into some situations, but it's fine. We're good. I'm grateful. We're so grateful. You need to have those messy firsts.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
totally.
You do. That's a good first. That is a really good first.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else are first traveling alone, like first time traveling internationally by myself, like without him, because normally I would just like puppy dog follow him through the airport. Like, you know how girls will be like, oh, I want to like turn my brain off. Like, I think my brain was turned off the whole time.
Yeah.
I think I just turned her off anytime he was around, and I just, okay, la la la, like followed around. And so it's been really cool to like, you know, I traveled internationally by myself, and like that was so cool to be like, oh my God, I can do this. And also, he always made more money than I did.
Oh, yeah.
And so for the first time, paying for a car alone, paying for my apartment alone, paying for my groceries alone, going shopping, and knowing that I had money to do that, like literally supporting myself alone has been such an interesting first experience that, to be honest, if you asked me a year or 2 years ago, like, can I support myself alone? I would have told you no. Like, no, there's no way. Like, he supports me. But now that I'm doing it, I'm like, no, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I can support myself. And this is the first time in my life that I have supported myself. Like, because even before him, my mom helped me a lot when I was like 18. Yeah. And then I moved on to living with him and, you know, combining incomes. And now that I'm completely alone, I'm like, wait, hold on a minute.
You got this.
I'm so fucking proud. Like, not only can I support myself in like an apartment that I love, I have a nice car, like I can go out with my friends, but like I also can buy shit that I want. And just realizing that is cool.
You were mentioning that to me about like having to wonder or worry if he sees it on the statement or something, right? Like if you're like, you purchase something and then like,
because we had like joint bank accounts.
Yeah. And then I was in my mind, like so with my ex, we never combined anything. Like it was just like a bank account that paid the house bills. And then we each had our own account. So there was never like, he saw what I bought. And I think it's because my mom was like, no, you're doing, and that was just never a question between the two of us. But that's also another thing, right? Like first, like when we're going into new relationships and like talking about things like that, like what are we going to be this time around? Like what are we going to want and not want? And I don't think there's anything wrong with combining bank accounts or doing it that way. I think it's just a matter of like,
I wouldn't.
Did it work for you the last time? Did it not? Like
nope.
You know, I mean, I agree wholeheartedly. I think I'll still stick with like what I did before.
I agree.
Because I think you make your own money, you spend your own money.
On bullshit. Like if I go to Ulta and I want to spend $300, or if I want the new fucking Dyson Air blow dryer, which I'm like obsessed with owning right now for some reason, like I don't want to be questioned about it.
Right. No. Who? That's like prison. Like, I don't know.
Not even questions, but just like, hey, like $300 on Ulta.
What's that about?
What's in this?
Yeah,
what is this? Like, I don't want
to explain myself. Yeah. Because I wanted it. It's
right,
my money.
Because I wanted it. And just because you make more money than I do and you're worried about saving, like, I don't know. Financials are a whole other thing.
I guess for me, this is reminding me, like living without dogs for me. Yeah. That was crazy. Like just accepting that and being like, oh, I'm going to go in the apartment alone, fully. Like not even with like a little noise or a little bark or a little cuddle.
Like, walk in the door
and not have like dogs run at me. Absolutely. Yeah. I think it was even more emotional in that sense. Sad. Yeah, for sure. But that was definitely a hard first.
Yeah.
Other first, I'm trying to think of just, obvious things like taking myself out to dinner, lunch, going to the movies by myself.
Do you like that?
I did.
You do?
Yeah. I don't do it regularly, but I feel like I did enjoy
at first,
doing it. And I got more confident with it because I felt at first even going out to dinner alone or like going to lunch alone, you feel funny.
I don't like it.
I've gotten better with it, but I don't do it like all the time. But it's great. It's better when you have like a laptop.
No, I think so. Like when I was in Portugal, I took myself to dinner and I don't know. I want to like it. I don't.
Yeah, I'm not dying to do it all the time, but it felt powerful to like sit there and be like, I don't really care what anybody here thinks if I'm sitting by myself. And like, it's nerve wracking at first. My heart was racing when I first did it, but or just being in another city. Like I remember going to a bachelorette party in Savannah and then like staying another night alone and just navigating that by myself. And that was like a little baby kind of.
Cool that you can though.
That's what's cool. And it's interesting because I've had conversations with friends who are in long-term relationships that are like, oh, I could never. And I'm like, well, why not? Right. Like even that being so abnormal when you're in a relationship to not travel alone.
Right.
Because God forbid you don't go with your partner.
No.
That means something's wrong.
Right. Right. Yeah. Why are you solo traveling?
Yeah.
Like how can you spend that much time away from them? And being a single dog mom.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely me letting them go is awful. And then for you, you were a single dog mom. Like you brought the dog with you and
I insisted.
Having to navigate.
Well, okay. So you left the dogs, which is so
heartbreaking.
hard.
And I think it's also getting over the fact that I felt extreme guilt for that. And yes, they were my idea and they were my dogs. And it felt shitty to be the one like, I can't take both of them. We can't split them up. Splitting them up feels worse. But yeah, that felt shitty because a lot of people are like, well, how could you do that? And I'm like, I know it sucks, but
I think that people say things like that, but until you are in this situation, you have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
Like
it's tough.
Like I'm crazy about dogs and I still could completely see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Like I love those dogs so much. Still do.
Of course.
Always will. But yeah, and we're civil about them. Like I can see them if I want, or we can, whatever, take them to a vet appointment or grooming, but I'm not, it's harder to like staying their life because it's like, how can you keep staying in their life? Because I don't necessarily want to be hanging out with him and the dogs. We're just, we got to move on.
Right.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And that means sacrificing the dogs.
Yeah. But they're okay. And they're having,
they're living their best life.
Right.
For sure.
So in my situation, the dog was coming with me, period. No matter what. This is my dog. This dog was my idea. He had resentment for having to even take care of the dog in the first place. That was always a problem. Oh, I have to get home and take care of this fucking dog, blah, blah, blah. So like the dog was mine. However, for the first time being like a single parent, even if it's just a dog, like that shit was so hard.
Of course.
I felt like I had to be home all the time. I didn't want him to be alone. Like, I felt so much guilt even going to work because I work 10-hour days. Like, so much guilt leaving him. And like, oh my God, I have to get him a babysitter who comes and sits with him all day. Or do I have to get like an hour dog walk every single day? And like, I'm at the point now where I'm just like, okay, he's okay. Like he's sleeping and, spend time with him when you can, take him on hikes when you can, but you can really only do what you can do. But like learning that was so hard.
Yeah. Like, what's your baby? It's like a kid.
Exactly. And so like single dog parenting, like learning how to do that was so hard. And I still feel guilt if I want to go work a 10-hour day and then go to the gym for an hour and a half. I still feel bad, but somebody told me I guess I don't have to call him somebody anymore. My man's was like, you can't like let him run your life. Like it's okay. Like you have to make choices for you and obviously take good care of him. But
we take care of the dogs. The dogs are great.
Totally.
They're well taken care of.
He's fed. He's in a 70-degree apartment. He gets dog walks. He's great.
He's fed so well.
Honestly, I want his life.
Truly.
So for the girls that are going through first, it's going to be weird. It's going to be fun. It's going to be scary. but it'll normalize. Things will normalize.
Yeah, and you need to go through them, so don't hesitate.
And it's fun. It's
Dive
fun.
in.
Like, literally have so much fun.
Dive in because you've never lived this life before, and you need to experience these things.
Go out, be hot, let
Be a
men hit
hoe.
on you.
Do a thing.
Hit
Have
on
your hoe
men.
season. Go for it.
Make out with 25-year-old men, whatever.
Yeah, the young ones, the old ones, the in-betweens. Who knows? A girl. Like, it doesn't, like,
Yeah,
try it
slide.
all on for size. All right, babes.
Love ya.
Love you so much. Don't forget, like and subscribe down below. All right.
All right, bye, babes. Love you.
Thank you. Love you. Mwah. Okay. Why am I
Here
sweating
we go.
already?
Are you sweating?
My pits are.
I'm fucking telling you, it's moist in here. Baby, the girls are warm.
The right one. It's always my right one.
Just because, like... Oh.
Good.
Oh, the bone. Archaeology. That's okay. It's okay,
She's like, I
honey.
did something wrong.
No, it's okay. Once per episode, he enters.
Hi, baby. The tail is
He's so
wagging.
fucking
Hi,
cute.
babes.
It's sick.
You are really cute.
Every episode. I
Look at this
say
face.
Oh!